Hey, it's a stormy day at the ocean, sitting here in Rhode Island, and just being asked by Jeshua to bring through some messages regarding what's happening in the world now, all of the amazing events and, I guess, opportunities as well, if we look at it through his eyes, and are being invited to look at it that way as well for ourselves. So, if anybody's seen the previous videos, they'll know I'll do a little prayer, an internal quiet prayer, and then we'll begin, then he'll begin. So here we go. And indeed, beloved friends, I come to join with you, and you have heard this from me before, for the joy of the joining. And I have to admit, if I were to look at this, I would say, Jeshua, perhaps you need a bit of an intervention. You need some of your friends, the Saint Germain and some of his other friends, to come together and say, Jeshua, we are noticing it is like becoming an addiction for you, this joining with those on what is known as the earth plane. You're getting a kick out of it. Perhaps you need to detox a bit. To give up this addiction that you have. You are a joy junkie. And I would say to them, yes, I am afraid that you are right. I am indeed committed to and dedicated to and look forward to and thoroughly enjoy my interactions with my brothers and sisters who are playing this wonderful game of hide and seek and pretending they are not who they are. And I enjoy so much having a chat with them and meeting them just where they are and seeing through the illusion at the same time we are all pretending it is here. It is a game I enjoy, and they will look at me and think, well, perhaps can we get in on this? This sounds rather attractive. And the intervention will fail. There will not be what is known as the end of my engagement in this, but rather I will bring along some friends, and so it is that I come to you not alone but with many friends, and all becoming joy junkies in learning to see and appreciate the remarkable creation that you are engaged in, the incredible storytelling that you are weaving. So from our perspective, there is nothing wrong. There is no dis-ease. The only virus that we're aware of is the love virus. How it gets into every crevice and cannot be undone. And yet we do not have a problem with that. We surrender to it. We could speak of theology and how things are. But we would rather just sit with you. Knowing that there is a level of communication occurring which is entirely joyful. The stillness and peace and weight and concentrated energy of the depth of the ocean. A pure, powerful experience of communion. And it is true that perhaps you are having the storm, as the seas storm around this one as he serves as channel for me. Perhaps the seas are a bit stormy on the surface of what you call your daily human life. Perhaps they are not. It has very little to do with our communion with you at the depth and the weight in a good way. The consequential nature of our communion, the depth and truth and power of it, the richness of it. And you might think, oh yes, it is good to escape into this place for a time because the waves are so rough on the top. But in fact, there is no separation between the two in your experience if you were to see it fully now. The peace that can be here can also be there. In the storm, in the fear, in the seeming loss, in the terror, in the dis-ease, there can be ease. And how? It comes from the recognition that there is no separation between the two states we are speaking of, the deep state inside of yourself. We use the ocean as an analogy, but it is within you. The deep state of stillness, of power, of strength, from which all things, all waves of experience are emerging. They do not emerge randomly. They do not emerge without the full engagement of the deeper loving will. How, therefore, to understand this, to know it by being it, know it in your bones. Find out where it is that you are perpetuating separation. That is the answer to that question. In your mind, which is a separation device unless used well. And the thinking mind we are speaking of here. Train yourself to see only loving thoughts. Discipline the mind. Know that what thought you choose to give your attention to, regardless as to where it arises from, what you choose to give your attention and belief to will form, structure, and create your experience, whether it is true or not. Oh yes, but Jeshua, it just feels this way. Yes, but perhaps you are believing a lie, and they can create great feeling as well. If you wish to change your suffering, if you wish, we do not say you need to. We see the depth of you regardless. Our joy is not broken. And your freedom is an aspect of that joy. Our joy, your joy, joy itself. Your freedom to get lost and forget it is part of it. So, many will choose, perhaps given world events, that they are looking for deeper answers. Perhaps they will eventually choose to say, oh yes, I've had enough of this. I would like to experience joy directly, not through some mitigation and only experiencing it at a depth that I am not in touch with much of the time. But I would like to be in touch with it all the time. To have my joy be my joy instead of my suffering be my joy, in a sense. No longer to forget who I am, but to remember, to come home. And where do I come home? Not when I am sitting on the beach and everything is good and my illusions are being maintained because I seem to have success in this insane world. But rather, when failure occurs, you will begin to question, oh, perhaps there is another way here. And I have to admit that all of the feelings of hatred I was having for my enemies was not really working for me. It just seemed to be because they kept bringing the Mai Tais. And if they stop bringing the Mai Tais or the paper towels or whatever it is that is not on your shelf at this time, perhaps it is time for a deeper questioning, and perhaps it is time for an awakening as well. This is all good news. You play hide and seek very well, and you are being found to the extent that you desire to be. And if you are choosing to be found, I will show you a way as the way shower. Look upon your thoughts. Look upon your thoughts. And ask yourself, could there be another answer other than what I am thinking when I am thinking in such unloving ways about reality, about my experience, about the nature of things? We live in a random universe, some will say. Is that a loving perception? We will tell you it is completely incorrect. But is it loving? Because you will find that when you believe a loving thought, you will not suffer. And when you believe an unloving thought, you will. That is enough to know. It is all you need to know. Your mind is determining your experience of this play you have written for yourself. And until you engage it fully and see the gifts in the play by having only loving thoughts which will allow you to engage it fully, then there will still be something that needs to be repeated in what you call your suffering. Because you have not received the gift yet. But why not receive the gift? Yes, I'd let this be my birthday. I will receive the gift. What is it that this fear is coming to gift me? What is it that this chaos and sadness and loss and anger at those who are not doing more, What are all these things gifting me? Can I sit with them and be with them and engage fully and love, 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 with loving thoughts, with loving perceptions, with loving engagement of all that is arising? Love your enemies, inner and outer, and thank the outer ones, for they are reflecting back to you what you are asking to learn. It is quite simple. It is quite beautiful. It is love. And it is the only answer to anything that is emerging. It is the only thing of meaning. It is the only thing of power. It is the only thing of truth. It is the very fabric of reality. And it is what you are. Love, love, love. Not what is the Hallmark cards? It is all right. It is nice there in the Hallmark cards. They are quite nice, are they not? Unless you think they are superficial and fake, which you do not need to see them that way. But we are talking about power. The power to give life, to sustain life, to create anything at all. That is the love we are speaking of. We are talking about the love of the power of God. And you do not need to be religious, but we are talking about what you believe has power. We invite you to see that only love has power. That is the reason for events occurring, that you might orient yourself eventually and gradually and perfectly towards this truth. Beloved friends, rejoice in your power. Rejoice in the disease, for it will lead you home. When is up to you. For me, I have chosen. And if you call on me, I am there. That is a promise. And with that, we conclude this sharing. Amen.